So what you got
Perfect,
in
dude.
there? What was that?
So, because I've been just going to the food bank and I've been, on a super gnarly budget,
Right. Oh
you
shit.
know, oh, it's all good. Obviously, cooking and is, just the way to go. And no sé si tú lo haces, pero como dejar la sopa ahí y nomás seguir agregándole cosas. Like it'll get like halfway, and then I'll just add more water, a few more potatoes, a few more carrots, a few more pieces of celery, um, zucchinis, um, and then lots of seasonings like salt, dried onion powder, um, a lot of salt, just get,
Right.
once I add the water, I'll just get it back up to like a good flavor. But dude, I can't believe how much, because I had a hard time with salads and like getting my vegetables
Hmm.
because I love eating like rice and meat or tortillas and meat, no, con
Yeah.
salsa, right? But dude, caldo is probably the best alternative to salads or, needing to have fiber in that way.
Right.
Just
Right.
because, yeah, it's all very broken down here and it's got a lot of, I don't know, it's
Do you
pretty
mix
crazy.
that into something, or is it how do you how do you work that into your diet?
What I pretty much just like instead of salad, so I have like I've been trying to maintain protein, carb, fiber, like at least with every meal because it's like if you do too much protein with too much carbs and not enough fiber, you don't even absorb what there is to absorb because there's not enough fiber for your body to like move it
Transport.
around and
Yeah.
break it down and everything. So this,
Nice.
yeah, so this you're basically pre-digesting all the vegetables for yourself by boiling them.
And the salt helps because that breaks down all the
Well,
veggies.
I think the salt helps just in hydration in general,
Mm-hmm.
like getting. But I also think that because you're boiling all of the stuff, all of the nutrients that are in the thing are now in the broth, more in the broth, and obviously salt and uh starches and like the potato or like the carrot, they'll they'll suck things in just like the salt
Right.
would,
Yeah.
right? So it's like I definitely feel super good after drinking this stuff.
Wow, man. So you just drink it, you just kind of freebase it.
Yeah, just in the morning, like instead of coffee, broth.
Wow. So
Yeah.
is that just like room temperature? Like is it like
No, it's scorching hot.
oh, so you warm it up like a soup?
Sí, como ya sabes cómo lo hacemos con el pozole, nomás lo dejas en la
See.
estufa and you just turn it on and you
And
have
you were
to
saying
heat.
that has chicken bones, you said too?
It has chicken legs, so it has the bones, and then it has I was gonna throw in some pork, but I ended up throwing some Italian sausages in there.
Yeah, so you got collagen in there, marrow, you got just pure calcium, I'm imagining.
And think about how hard it is for your body to produce like the conditions to suck that out of whatever you just ate.
I can imagine because if you're following the standard American diet, probably
Yeah,
not
you're
getting any of that.
chewing. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're chewing everything. It's all there's like sandwiches, burgers, like the bread. Es como el taco de México, ¿no?
Mm-hmm.
No, que todo está en un taco, todo está en la tortilla. But dude, you just like add fucking this. Oh, what I really want to get is some hominy or garbanzo, no? Como
Oh
para
yeah, yeah.
because I did corn and it like totally I boiled corn and it totally changed the flavor. But anyways, um yeah, dude, I'm just like trying to really from since the hernia surgery, trying to like really get healthy,
To recover, is
you
that
know.
like a is that something you're doing to recover or no?
No, not specifically, just more so. Yeah, I mean it's for sure for recovery in general, but it's more like
Yeah.
that. I don't think I was taking, you know how it is with the horses. You're not really taking care of yourself. You're taking care of them.
Yeah.
And
And the
yeah,
people around them.
yeah, and the people around them. So, I can see now how beneficial like a thermos full of soup for the day. Porque tú sabes el truco. Si tienes un chingo de calor, toma algo caliente
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it'll cool you off.
It's so funny, right? Because your body naturally starts to sweat and you start to get, it just
Oh,
evaporates
yeah.
off of you. It's so funny. It's so funny that
And
you
it's
say
like
that.
the way it was explained to me was that it's like a thermo inversion, like a trick where you put something super hotter than what's outside. So like obviously outside it'll get like 80, 90. This has got to
Mm-hmm.
be, you know, if you can drink hot, I don't know how hot this is, but it's like having that super hot thing in your stomach. The reason you feel like it's hot outside is because your body's trying to get back to how cool it was.
Mm-hmm.
But if you drink something that's hot and now the inside is hot, the body's like, "Oh, I guess we're not that hot. If
Yeah.
inside's hot and outside's hot, then I guess we're not that hot."
Yeah.
And it's that whole thing with, people in the desert and like covering yourself up and all that stuff. But that's why they drink
That's a
tea.
cool tip for people who do work outside because I struggled in the elements. And I
Yeah,
never
dude.
used to actually, and not until maybe the
Right.
past 5, 6 years that I started to really feel I don't know if it was like my blood pressure would go up, which I'm pretty sure that's what was the case. But I would
Sure.
start to get dizzy, and then it would just trigger anxiety, and
Yeah.
sometimes I would spiral into a panic attack because there's this like, and I think it's just the adrenaline. When you are
Yeah.
going through the heat wave, your body starts to react, and in my case, it reacts into releasing adrenaline. So it is.
Have you ever like had heat stroke?
What does that feel like? Have you?
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
you puke, like you start to puke from the heat and you're dizzy and you just pass out sometimes. Um, Essentially what's happening is like your body will pass out or your body will throw up to kind of tell you to like stop what you're doing, you know, because it just can't handle anymore. But we're, mind over matter. So you'll just keep like going.
Yeah.
And I've had mild cases of it, where people had
Um.
electrolytes nearby in fridges. I was able to sit in a cold office, like get cooled down really quickly because heat stroke, what it is your like your system that regulates the temperature inside is going haywire.
Mm-hmm.
So if it goes haywire enough, I knew a farrier who got heat stroke so bad, his nervous system was so fucked up he couldn't even lift this glass.
I haven't had that then. What I have had is a little bit of dizziness. I think more or less what it is for me is the panic attacks that get triggered by that discomfort.
Sure, yeah.
And yeah, that's all it is. Because I've been in some fucking 115-degree weather and
You
I'm
probably
fine
had
to a certain
mild,
extent. Yeah.
yeah, you probably had mild heat stroke.
Yeah, but then it just triggered that like response, and then and then of course like you're undergoing like the sensitivity of the weather, but also then you have a panic attack on top of that, and it just feels like you're gonna die. Like on
Yeah,
top of being hot, you can't find comfort. Like I think what I would do is like just splash my face with water, like or get a hose
yeah,
and just like get myself cool
yes,
immediately, and that returns me back slowly. But it's always a pain in the ass, and I'm almost like I'm borderline like phobic of like really hot weather and working in it because of my experiences.
absolutely, dude. No, I mean, I'm doing this yard work and stuff, and I'm only doing 4 hours a day. Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
do more,
Oh, good
and
for you,
I'll
man.
fucking hit it hard and I'll sweat and stuff. But it's like crazy how, like, I'm, yeah, we push really hard, man. And that's a blessing, but it's also like we need to use it a little better.
Well, yeah, just be smarter because obviously
Yeah.
there's a science behind it. And this is what I've been doing lately since I work from home. What I do in the daytime, I'm set up in the garage,
Oh,
so I'm
cool.
open to the elements. So it's like
Oh,
I'm working
cool.
outside. So I feel the change of weather and my body acclimates gradually instead of like going from being in the AC to going straight out. So for example, like, it's we're in mid May, so it's starting to get hot. Like we've had some days in the 90, but what's really interesting is this, man. By the time that it gets to 90, I don't even know. I don't my body has slowly, gradually adjusted to that temperature where I don't feel, I don't even know that it's hot. I'm like, it's
That's
just,
beautiful.
so I've been doing that every day, and I plan to do it up until when those hot days come by, those 110 days. So
Oh, sure.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like that way I can go get over the phobia because it's so triggering when I am dealing with those situations where even though, like, we work outside, so you would think we gradually. I think the difference is we're like exerting ourselves, and we do get relief when you're working outside, like in a barn or whatever. You're in the shade. There's fans.
Yeah, but it's different when you're like, shoeing a horse in cross ties with no shade, or like lunging a horse for hours with no shade.
Yeah,
Like there's that's the exhaustion part,
right.
So like we can build tolerances, but at one point you're just cooking,
Yeah, regardless, right? It's fucking
right? At
hot.
one point it's just so fucking hot. It's just like you're cooking yourself. And that's that dude, when I heard that, like remember that this guy, the guy who can't pick up his glass, that's what happens when you have heat stroke. You get so hot, like your body's unable to stay within that good space. It gets 1 degree too much, and you essentially cook yourself a little bit. You don't
Hmm.
die, but you cook yourself, but just the tiniest bit. And the first thing to get cooked, you know what it is? That sheath around the nerve,
That's what it is.
little membrane, little
Mm-hmm.
thin, beautiful membrane that separates the nerve from the muscle and allows yeah, dude. And like that.
Yeah. No, man. Yeah, I think as people learn their limits, I mean, there's obviously people who train in those kind of weather, that go in
Yeah.
saunas and like, I mean, Jesus, man, like literally cook themselves like over and over and over. Where I
But
mean,
like
they're
that's why like I remember picking avocados, and the guys would go jump in the lake and then come back out to work like so. And then I mean I would do it too,
yeah,
because you're just like, that looks nicer than, because then you're in the shade underneath the tree and soaked.
yeah,
Yeah, it gets a little more humid,
yeah.
but because you're in the shade, now you're not in that like dead heat in the shade.
Mm-hmm.
You're in
Right.
the shade and you're soaked. So you get
Yeah.
really kind of cool and refreshed, and a little bit of, because then if you're dry and the hot breeze just hits you, it is those tricks, man, like that you see people do, like mojar la toalla y ponérsela en la cabeza y poner la gorra y se van a
Uh-huh.
lonchar o se van a hacer lo que sea. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, man, those are good tips for people who are working out there. I heard from different people, I mean, there's like pros and cons to doing the like a cold towel on the head.
Oh,
Because
really?
essentially what happens is you're telling your brain it's cold, so it stops working to like get you to sweat and stuff. So I don't know how true that is. That's just something I
Wow.
heard. But
Maybe.
I don't know. I've never really tried it enough to, see if that really is true or not. But yeah, man. So what's new with you, man?
Oh, man. Just, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, um, I've been
Where's your
doing
mind
this.
at?
Uh, I'm really happy. I'm very blessed. I really just want to get back on my feet financially
Mm-hmm.
and making money, because, yeah, all this stuff that happened with that guy, it was going so well, and then mismanagement and broken trusts, and and then you have, even though you got to walk away from bad situations, the the commitment I had to get the hernia surgery and go through that, even
Yeah.
though I didn't have a job and I didn't have stuff lined up, and there was all this drama with this guy. And I pushed through that, and Veronica was there for me. She was, my lady was just really there for me. And, to all, I guess, the ladies out there, it's like, it's incredible what a little motivation, especially the kind of good woman can give you. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, just like, we could do this. Like, I know we're gonna have a future, and I know you're gonna get through this, and you're gonna get back on your feet stronger than ever.
Yeah.
Because it's in those times when I was just sitting there getting healed up, it really was like, fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, just cleaning yards, just doing yard work,
Yeah.
and I'm I've hit up a bunch of shoers just to be like, I want to get backyard business going, nothing crazy. Um, and then also kind of offer, other stuff that I know how to do with horses. But I've applied to like over 100 jobs. I've gotten 3 responses. They're all rejections.
Okay.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's just interesting, man. If I as much of a barrier as there is between English and Spanish, I wonder how big of a barrier there is between trades and jobs.
Wow, that you just raised a really big question there, right?
Yeah, it's been just because, yeah, the industry could really use what tradesmen have to offer.
Hmm.
There just has to be built like a new communication, because these people over here are like, no, you have to communicate like how I communicate. And then these people over here are like, well, we need to set a meeting. I'll see you then, and we can talk, and there's this like English and Spanish. There's this total breakdown of communication.
I can relate to that because you and I come from the equestrian world, the Wild West. It's different,
Yeah.
man. Like you want to get a job, doing what we do. If you know the right people, it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? In many
Yes.
cases. And that's the world that I come. That's all I knew. So I come. I finished high school and then I started doing horses. That was my whole world. I didn't know anything else. I didn't know how the corporate world
For sure.
interacted, and that whole the learning curve. I didn't experience that until maybe the past couple of years, man, since I moved to California. Because even though I've maintained like grooming positions and jobs here, I've also dabbled into the corporate world of America, and it's
Right.
so crazy how there's such a process to get you from looking for a job to getting employed. That I mean, sometimes it takes up to like a month, just to process everything through, and it's just crazy. But of course, that's just how it works. And for us, that we come from a world where you make a call, you literally, dude, I've gotten jobs like in like from reading a post that someone's looking for a groom to calling them to having a small like agreement to going the next day and being employed. I mean, that's like a
Mm-hmm.
24-hour turnaround
Mm-hmm.
compared to a month. I mean, you're right. It is like English to Spanish. Like, how can we bridge the gap?
Well, it's just the communication styles on, and how fast or how slow things happen is really what, yeah, stops people. Because for a long time, I mean, even now, like because I wasn't really employed by that guy, I
Hmm.
can't tap into workman's comp. I can't tap into,
Right.
any
Well,
of
that's
that
what,
stuff.
yeah, that's the trade-off, right? Like we're not really, you know, there's the benefits usually don't come like the way they come when you start a job that has the full benefits, when you're working your W-2 and you're working your social security, all those things our line of work usually they don't offer that
Oh yeah,
unless we offer it to ourselves, unless we open up
absolutely.
a Roth IRA or a 401k and we have our health insurance. And obviously those are things that I've learned to do for myself. But before
Wow.
that I had no idea. I thought it was just like you show up to work, you get paid.
Hmm.
Well, that's, yeah, that is how it is, but then you forget that you also have to pay taxes for the money that you make. So I had to
Oh
learn how to
yeah.
do that. So
Not to
that's another.
mention, yeah, yeah. Not to mention like your retirement.
Right. All those things, man, that I didn't get taught. I didn't even know about. I mean, and I don't know if schools teach you that nowadays, but I sure wasn't told. I wasn't, no
Yeah,
one told me
no.
about taxes. And that's something that I wish at least my parents would have taught me. But again, they were employees. They didn't have the type of equestrian jobs that I had. They were like
But
legit,
they were also immigrants.
and they were immigrants, all that. So they almost had it too easy for being immigrants. And this is something that my brother and I have talked about, because they didn't struggle like your typical immigrant. My dad did struggle in the beginning, but then once he got situated in a job, he had all the benefits. It was like a corporate job that he worked for a top equestrian. So he had it very easy. Health insurance, his taxes were taken care of, all the benefits that come with working for a
Right.
corporation. So he never had to learn it for himself. So obviously I didn't learn it.
Right.
And then you like travel around freelancing, then you see the real world where you have to take care of yourself. I had to learn, and it was like hard. It was hard to learn it, but with time, you figure it out. But those are things that are not taught.
Dude, no, and not taught at all. And
No.
people ask, like, well, your parents, didn't tell you about this? And I'm like, dude, my dad was working three jobs. My mom was, well, he was working two jobs, and then on the weekends and any free time he had, he was trying to start his farrier business.
Yeah.
My mom was cleaning houses and doing laundry for people. Like, she, it took my mother, it took my school, I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks one time to get a hold of my parents just to
Hmm.
finally tell them, like, hey, he hasn't turned in homework for fucking a month and he doesn't speak English, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they're like, okay, what should we do? And the teachers are like, what should you do?
Yeah.
Like, and then all of a sudden they feel judged. My dad was like, these fucking people can't believe I paid them so much money. It was in the end, it's all good, right? It's all we're here and are healthy and thank God we can, gracias a Dios que podemos seguirle.
Yeah, I don't feel like a victim at all. I just feel
No, I just want,
like, yeah.
if anybody's listening that actually like had that shit as a kid, like really sit there one day and try to think about what it would have been like if your parents hadn't broke down stocks for you at 10 years old, so that by the time you're 17 you're just like you don't even know what to do with the fucking 30 grand. Like I had friends like that,
Yeah, yeah. I did
who
too.
just,
Yeah.
yeah, their parents like, and they'd be like, oh, just try this, try that, and I had all kinds of stories, obviously, like, oh, you'll never catch me doing that Richie shit. I'll be
Yeah.
out, I'll be outside, and working.
It was almost frowned upon to be
Yeah.
that prepared growing up, like, I think my parents, like,
Oh
as
yeah. ¿Quién te
immigrants,
crees?
yeah,
¿Quién te
like,
crees, güey?
and seeing it now, I mean, I can compare because obviously, like, I have my wife was raised differently, even though like she learned all those things as an adult, but she was raised as an American with like that mindset, where education is like on the top of the of the totem pole. That's like the most important thing. Education, like you don't want to get pregnant early, like you want to avoid this. Like it was just like set up so you could succeed in the American dream. I
Hmm.
wasn't, and that's not an excuse why I haven't done or what I should have
No,
been doing. But
because you'll
I
never
just
know.
barely found out this shit. So I'm trying to apply myself, have that American mindset as a first generation immigrant. It is challenging, and I don't need anybody to empathize with it. But it
No,
is a learning curve.
yeah, they
I
can. Yeah, they can if they want to. But
Yeah.
like in the whole LLC thing that I've been doing, to get this other thing going, my parents fought a lot about money, and it was, big deal all the time. But
Yeah.
the what I'm learning now, this is, I don't know if you go through this, and this is what I want to tell you is just the stuff that I'm learning now. It's almost hard to learn because of what you're talking about. It was
Mm-hmm.
like assumed the unpreparedness. It was like this is just what we do, and it's like motherfuckers. If we would have had an S corp, my dad could have kept. He made over half a mil shoeing horses. People, not normal people, don't do that.
Right. Right.
Could have had a retirement, 401k, Roth IRA, stocks, investments, other businesses, car wash, laundromat. Get into what
Mm-hmm.
you want. But, learning about entities
Mm-hmm.
and not the esoteric kind, these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's crazy. It's like I was really blown away. It's all very similar language,
Mm-hmm.
except it's not esoteric, it's business,
It is just business, man.
you know? Like
Yeah.
if my dad could have pulled 100 grand in a business loan for the ranch that he bought and the business he had on the ranch and the business that he was running with the shoeing horses and the business that my mother was running his shoeing business, because that's a whole other separate business, right? So like an
Yeah.
accounting business. And there was so many ways to keep money instead of
Yeah.
fucking paying like 30-40% on your taxes. Pay
Right.
maybe 16, maybe fucking 11%.
That's so crazy, man, because I think man, you just hit like that really hits home because like I see that in my lifetime, like just how I could
Yeah.
have saved so much money investing, and I could have done this and I could have done that. Do I
Oh my
feel
god.
bad? I mean, it just like it opens your eyes, like, oh my God, like God, if I knew what I knew now, you know, that's why it's so important. I think like when you have kids to like just like sit them down and explain this shit to them, because like they can have such a leg up in the corporate world and business world, in the world in general, just by knowing how to save money and
I'm
knowing
gonna
how
say,
to
yeah,
invest.
I'm gonna say something. I don't know how it'll come out, but I'm not trying to be harsh on my parents, but
Mm-hmm.
because my parents fought so much between themselves,
Yeah.
they yearned for us to love them, right? And for us to
Mm.
like them because they weren't a team. So they would look for teams somewhere else. And so when it came down to what you're talking about, sitting your kid down and the nut cutting of saying, hey, I love you, but you're being a dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care how much you hate me right now. You need to shut up and listen.
Right.
Why? Because I'm 30 years your senior. And you need to keep that in your little tiny brain that's fucking developing. Because if you don't right now, you're going to end up like me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll tie my kid to a chair. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be like, I'm gonna untie you once I'm done talking. Like once I feel like I'm not gonna physically abuse you, dude. But if
Yeah.
you can't, because that's the thing for me was the slowing down. If I could
Right.
have slowed down just a little bit I would have had multiple homes right now,
Yeah, of
multiple streams
course.
of income.
100%.
Yeah, just like how I think you're feeling.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're kind of the same age, and we're
Yeah.
at this pivot point where we're able to turn around from wherever the fuck we were heading towards. We can turn around with our knowledge of what we need, our self care,
Yeah.
the support that we have from our ladies, and the mindset that we have. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just. I think this goes for anybody that's in our place right. I mean, I'm sure. I think our generation is desperately trying to find out, like what's the right. A lot of us, like, we worked our asses off, but don't have anything to show for.
Bruh. And I feel like it's because they gave everybody a trophy. That's our
Yeah,
generation.
yeah, dude.
They're like,
Yeah,
LGBT, it's like that same kind of ludicrous idea of, like infringing on free speech. It's
mm-hmm.
like you can't infringe on first place. There's the guy who crossed the line first,
Right.
but then he's going to give everybody a trophy. That's what infringement. That's and it'll screw people's minds up. I really do hope, and I do believe. I want to believe this. I do believe this. That Pete, how old are you?
34.
Yeah, I'm 35. I'm about to be 36 this month.
Yeah.
88.
90. Yeah.
But yeah, it's I believe we will stand up
Mm-hmm.
because of that. Because we were told, no, no, no. Even especially the people who crossed the line first or second or third, like you and me, and then everybody got a fucking trophy. It's confusing. And that's why I think we're so nice to everybody. Because we really are first, second, and third placers. Like we really are in top
Yeah.
percentages.
Mm-hmm.
But you give everybody a trophy, it's gonna fuck with that top percentage mentality. You don't
Right.
think so?
Of course, especially for a kid or young adults or whatever. It
Dude,
does.
11 years old. Why does everybody have a trophy?
Yeah. And that's where we needed our parents to
Oh, dude, they tried. My parents tried,
yeah, I
but
know.
but to me, they looked like the liars
Yeah.
because they were telling me like, no, Jose, tú síguele, no, tú dale, no te pongas a pensar en los demás.
Sí.
But
Sí.
on the outside, everyone's telling you like, be very, cautious of everyone else's feelings and all
Mm-hmm.
this stuff.
It's confusing. Yeah, no, I totally understand that point of view. For me, it was very, and that's what molded me into the person that I am now. Lo que me estás diciendo de esas
Uh,
experiencias que tuviste.
so I want to share this. I don't know how soon you have to go because I know
I
you
got
have.
about 20 minutes.
Oh, good, good, good.
Yeah, I got 20 minutes.
Yeah. Uh, one of the things I'm really me estoy aferrando is like my health for sure. Like health and fitness, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because people can be healthy,
Yeah. Yeah.
but the fitness aspect, when I say I'm healthy, I'm including that fitness aspect. Like
Yeah.
when I say I'm healthy, that means I could run up a hill if I need to. I could chase somebody down if I need to catch him. Make a good attempt. I need to pick something heavy off the ground or off of someone. I could probably do a good job of that. I need to bring a rearing horse back down to the ground. I could probably do that. Like
Right.
because that being healthy for your work, being healthy for a desk job is not the same thing as being healthy enough for a groom's job or a farrier job.
Right. Exactly. That's a whole different type
Right.
of thing.
A whole different type of thing. So because they give us all trophies, we're having a hard time distinguishing ourselves from the group.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And because all we can fucking think about is the group.
Yeah.
Because anytime we start thinking about ourselves, at least I start telling myself like, don't be selfish, don't be pump, don't be self-centered, this and that.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like it's been really hard for me to kind of like just get on a rhythm again. So I'm just using that food, like my nutrition, so health, right? Which
Right,
is
right.
for me, it's going to be nutrition and fitness. And that's obviously like a schedule because you have to eat a certain amount of times a day and you have to exercise a certain or do, fitness exercise a certain amount of times a day.
Right.
And those are non-negotiables.
Hmm. That's good.
Yeah.
It has to be like that. I mean, that's the only way you really get to do, I mean, to successfully stay in a
Yeah.
rhythm and stay on task on what you need to do versus what you have to do. I mean, I
Mm.
think your health, it shouldn't be negotiable. I mean, that's just something that we can definitely fall into patterns where we seek our comforts instead of what we have to do. And
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in that category, still trying to get out of it. And it's something that I struggle with, but I know that I'm making improvements little by little
Yeah.
to successfully be able to get to a place where it is a lifestyle. It's no longer I just need to lose some pounds or I just need to stay
Right.
healthy. No, this is what I need to do for the rest of my life.
Dude, so Veronica hit so to take what you just said and bring it from the because life is like an arena like the Coliseum. There's the people who are actually doing stuff, the gladiators, and then there's the people who are in the stands just talking about what's happening in the ring. Or like in boxing, there's everybody around, and then there's the boxing ring, and there's the two people who are actually doing something, and then there's everybody in there that's just watching and talking about it. So to get what you just said, like on the court or on in the ring, it's like Veronica said some shit where it really got it real for me instead of so conceptual.
Yeah.
She was like, I was telling her about all this stuff that we're talking about. And I was like, and then, so I, telling her like I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, blah, 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 all this shit. And she's like, oh my gosh, well, if you want to train like that, and I was pretty much talking about training like a boxer, and she's like, why don't you just go to Hyder's gym, one of her friends, a UFC fighter. And I was like, immediately, I was like, oh shit,
Hmm.
and like in my brain, I construct like in like a snap like this, I was able to construct like a 2 month, 3 month plan just to go comfortably work out at someone else's gym,
Right.
right? Because as much as I just want to show up, which I'm sure I could, and I'm sure it'd be fine, but I'm already dealing with like weird peer pressures and my own self and my own whatever, you know, it's like I want to go train in a gym. If it's even like holding mitts for somebody else or helping, like being, I got over that and I was just like, I need to get more around that,
Hmm.
Now I'm healed up from my surgery and stuff and it's getting
Oh,
better.
good.
But,
Yeah.
and so I can maybe go and just like even walk in there where I couldn't even think of that before. I was gonna say, como un futbolito, way. How much do you
Hmm.
miss soccer?
Oh, yeah, a lot. And that's something that pushes me to get to a place where I can run around and I get tired and out of breath. So obviously starting doing a
Yeah,
little bit more walking, a little bit more running, doing some lifts, lifting and stuff like that will get me to a better place where I can do that. And that's what I so much desire. I want to be out there in the field playing.
dude, that's because that's what I miss too. Is just like being able to run super fast.
Yeah, and just like be free, like have
Yeah, yeah, like fucking
the
juking people and
yeah.
everything. Yeah,
So that is a motivation for me.
yeah,
Everything else gets in the way though, because we are in this like pivotal moment where we're trying to regroup, take care of our soul, our body, our mind, our heart. Everything's just we're there's so many things coming at us that we're like, okay, how can I how can I break down my day? You know, where obviously if you're working, I work like 8 hours a day and then I do a little bit of Uber. So that's like 10 hours, 12 hours a day that I'm working. So it's just trying to find the balance, you know. So then that leaves like an hour of like working out. I'm working towards balancing that out where I'm just working 8 hours, working out like 2 hours a day, if
Yeah.
that, and then having more time to do like what I love.
I think you'd like there's like a sprinkle method where I mean I used to do it every stop, get out of the truck, do 10 push-ups. It's like
Okay.
not a lot,
Right.
but by the 10th time you've stopped, that's 100 push-ups
So
in
break
a
it down
day.
in little increments like throughout the day.
Because in the span of the day, you did 100 push-ups. So
Yeah.
that 100 push-ups is actually coursing through your body and doing stuff. It's just you didn't try to smash the 100 into yourself in a short amount of time because I think that causes like a burning effect or a hurting effect, you know?
What's
Like
the method called? So I can write that down.
the sprinkle method, just like if
Sprinkle
you're so
method.
busy, yeah, if you're so busy throughout the day and it doesn't seem like there's anywhere to work out,
Yeah.
write down your workout like as if you had the hour
Yeah.
or
Oh,
had
I don't have an
the
excuse, brother. I mean, look, I have my setup right here by my desk.
yeah. Yeah, so
You know, that's just
just make your workout and
yeah.
then instead of trying to get it all done in an hour, you can have a 5 minute and or 10 minutes and do bench.
Yeah.
At lunch you do something. At this break you do something. And then you're actually getting workouts in during the day.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm gonna try doing because or that's what I
Yeah,
will be doing. I have to, right? I need to. So I want to.
sounds
And
like it.
yeah, that's a good I just never thought about it that way. I thought like,
No, you're good.
yeah, but that's a good thing you brought up.
Well, I'm sure I'm sure once we start getting more into finances and into your realm of things, you're
Yeah.
gonna yeah, I'm gonna be feeling the same way. But yeah,
Cause
man,
yeah.
fitness has been a great journey for me. It's been something that I'm happy to step back into, and I'm glad we're gonna be able to help each other. Yeah, it's all community,
Yeah.
man. But you got
Yeah,
to
man,
get
we'll get
going here
there.
soon, right?
Yeah, man, I got about a couple minutes, but I think this would be a good
Yeah,
moment to close it out and say peace out. It was nice talking to you, brother. And we should do this
likewise,
more
my
often.
friend. Yes. Let's just launch it on your I'll launch it on mine, you launch it on yours,
Yeah, we
and
can do it.
yeah, just let's get these conversations, just start posting.
Yeah, that's as easy as this, man. We can do it on our lunch
And
breaks.
thanks to anybody who made it to the end of the episode. Smash
Yeah,
the like button and subscribe.
and subscribe. All right, man. See you
See
later.
you.
Peace out. Bye.